We got a lot to talk about. We have three teams that are already into the second round of the playoffs, but let's start in the East because there's one team that is clearly head and shoulders above all the other teams right now in that division, and it's the Boston Bruins. They advance, they defeat the Capitals 4-1. Did you see this coming? I think a lot of us thought that the Boston Bruins would be very tough, that they could get past the Caps. But Jonesy, I'll start with you. Did you see this level of dominance coming?
I did, just because Washington had so many question marks just before the playoffs arrived. You think back to Tom Wilson against the New York Rangers and the distraction that became. You think of Kuznetsov and Samsonov facing team discipline and then being on the COVID list. Some injury issues included in that list of injured players was TJ Oshie. So there was some warning lights flashing before the series started. And when I look back on it, Boston just was all about business. They managed to get a split in Washington. The Game 2 overtime win with Marchand's goal was really the turning point in that series. And then they carried that momentum and good discipline really throughout the rest of the series. And I think that was probably, in my eyes, what separated the two teams. Boston was just a smarter team, a team that played with great urgency, but also was very focused and disciplined in their approach. So I'm not shocked that Boston was able to get through them in 5.
First of all, guys, you guys have to excuse the deep V. All the rest of my shirts are in laundry right now. But I'm the opposite of Jonesy. I did not see this coming. I thought the Washington Capitals were a veteran group. And for all the reasons that Jones just talked about, I thought they would be able to overcome all those issues because now it's the postseason. And that's exactly what they brought Coach Peter Laviolette to Washington to do, to help guide this team to the postseason. So I thought this Capitals group that had like Kuznetsov and Tom Wilson issues over the course of the regular season, I thought those guys would snap into it once the postseason started and they would get down to business. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And the Boston Bruins, they're rolling. You know, they had the distinct advantage with goaltending, whereas last year in the bubble, they did not. So this year, I thought their goaltending was a significant difference over what the Washington Capitals brought to the table, and they're able to close that series out pretty quickly.
Yeah, Boston Bruins, the two stacked lines, top line, second line. David Pastrnak with that brilliant goal in the closeout game. They beat their former teammate Zdeno Chara. Boston looks spectacular right now. And even better for Boston right now is the fact that, guys, the Islanders and the Pens, that could be a 7-game series. And these two teams are going to beat each other up while the Boston Bruins sit there and wait.